Hi, welcome to Bedtime Stories. I am Miss Cherry. Thank you for joining us tonight. I will tell a couple of cheesy jokes while we wait for anyone else to join us this evening. Let's see. Why did the tomato blush? Why did the tomato blush? Because it saw the salad dressing. No. What did one wall say to the other? What did one wall say to the other? Let's meet at the corner. All right, friends, let's get a little bit of our wiggles out before we get ready for bed. Let's get our thumbs out, and we're gonna sing. My thumbs are starting to wiggle, my thumbs are starting to wiggle, my thumbs are starting to wiggle, around and round and round. Let's do hands. My hands are starting to wiggle, my hands are starting to wiggle, my hands are starting to wiggle, around and round and round. Okay, let's do arms. My arms are starting to wiggle, my arms are starting to wiggle, my arms are starting to wiggle, around and round and round. Okay, let's do shoulders. My shoulders are starting to wiggle, my shoulders are starting to wiggle, my shoulders are starting to wiggle, around and round and round. Okay, last one. Let's do whole body. My body's starting to wiggle, my body's starting to wiggle, my body's starting to wiggle. Now I must calm down. Okay, let's take some deep breaths in and out. Let's smell the flowers and blow the bubbles. Smell the flowers and blow the bubbles. Last time, let's smell the flowers and blow the bubbles. Okay. What do you do to get ready for bed at night? What's part of your bedtime routine? You brush your teeth, you wash your face, or take a bath. Do you put on your pajamas? Do you read a book? I hope that you read books, and I hope you're in the right spot for that tonight. We are going to read A Sick Day for Amos McGee. Sweet, very sweet story. But before we do that, let's sing one more song. A song that we sing every bedtime story. It's called The More We Read Together. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. Read big books and small books and short books and tall books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. All right, friends, let's read our book, A Sick Day for Amos McGee. And thank you to Roaring Brook Press for allowing us to read this book. And thank you to Philip Stead and Erin Stead for writing and illustrating such a beautiful story. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he ambled out the door. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. You do a 5? Show me your 5. High five. High five. He waited for the number 5 bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move, and run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost, and sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy, and lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and the sneezes and the chills, and he swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back again, and said, "Oh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged the ponds and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently, all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that his allergies were worsening. And the owl, perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratched his head with concern. "Where is Amos?" the animals wondered. Later that day, what did they do? All the animals are leaving the zoo. Where do you think that they're going? Where might they be going? Do you think they're going to see our friend Amos? And there they all are, the elephant, the rhinoceros, the tortoise, the owl, and the penguin, all waiting at the bus stop. Have you ever seen a penguin on a bus? I haven't. There they all are, taking the ride. What number is that? They're taking the number 5. That's the same bus Amos takes to work. Let's see. Hooray! My good friends are here. There's Amos, and all his animal friends came to visit him. And they brought him a special red balloon. That was nice. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. "I'm too tired to run races today," said Amos to the tortoise. "Let's play hide and seek instead." And the tortoise hid inside his shell, and Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. "I could use a nap." The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. Achoo! Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you, said Amos to all of his friends, and he swung his legs out of bed. Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea. Do you like to have tea when you're sick? Feels nice and warm on your throat, huh? Amos wound his alarm clock. It's getting late, he said. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. Do you remember what bus they take? So Amos said good night to the elephant. Good night, elephant. And good night to the tortoise. Good night, tortoise. And good night to the penguin. Good night, penguin. And good night to the rhinoceros. Good night, rhinoceros. And good night to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light. Good night, owl. And they all slept happily ever after. And there goes the little red balloon. It's such a sweet story about taking care of your friends. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. All right, friends, should we do our bedtime rhyme? Let's see. What do we need for bedtime? We need one fluffy quilt for my bed, 2 soft pillows for my head, 3 teddy bears to hold me tight, 4 kisses for a restful night, and 5 big hugs. Then out goes the light. Good night, friends. I hope you have a sweet dream tonight. Let's think of a good thought and put it right in the center of our head for our dreams, and that we can have sweet dreams.